For Ballina.
Thank you, Madam Acting Speaker. I rise to speak on behalf of the Greens on the Jobs New South Wales Bill and also as the Green spokesperson for small business. We welcome the government's focus on creating jobs and sustaining them into the future, and I would imagine that all members, that there wouldn't be a member in this House that would consider that in full employment and employment participation wasn't at the top of their wishes and desires for their community. And we would like to work with the government. We think there's a lot of potential in this, and we welcome the investment in jobs creation. We know that jobs for meaningful jobs, meaningful careers are something that we do have to focus on, particularly in my regional area where young people are finding it increasingly hard to stay in our area. And I know that my member counterparts are struggling with the same issue. I welcome the member for Sydney's contribution and amendments around making sure that there is gender equity on the committee, and also in terms of having someone, let's hope a Gen Y, someone that actually understands the new technologies of the 21st century, and we utterly encourage the government to take on board those amendments. In terms of the Greens have been, my federal counterparts in the Greens are trying to work with the government there to improve the capacity for jobs creation and sustainability. And I note that in the bill, the section 6(1)(c), which is around advising the minister on impediments to and opportunities for improving and expanding competitive advantage in New South Wales. And we encourage the government to work with their federal counterparts. Just over a week ago, Green Senator rose to ask the coalition government why they weren't acting to stop larger companies, such as the supermarket duopoly, from abusing their market power to hurt small businesses and agricultural producers. We're wondering why it's taking so long for the coalition government to accept the recommendation of their own review into competition policy, which was carried out by a well-known economist, Professor Harper, to amend Section 46 of the Competition and Consumer Act and bring in an effects test. An effects test would allow the ACCC to better distinguish between fair and unfair competition and would stop supermarkets from using their overwhelming market power to further erode competition. And that is something that the Greens have long campaigned for an effects test, and we included as part of a comprehensive small business and competition policy we released at the last election. And that is something that I look forward to working with the government further on that and seeing whether in New South Wales we can actually see progressive changes that will remove the duopoly that we see. And in particular in my area, that really does cut out those small businesses. In terms of, there is also reference to regional areas and making sure that there is representation in terms of the regions. And I was fortunate, Madam Acting Speaker, to hold a job summit in Ballina a month ago, which had over 60 business leaders there with lots of great ideas, innovative ideas on how to create sustainable jobs into the future. And in particular, public transport and high-speed broadband were not surprisingly there. And I note that also in the bill, in section 6(1)(h), there is about a business advisory services. And in my region, that is a huge impediment to jobs, to small businesses growing, and continuing to grow and grow to medium-sized businesses, is that we can't attract those business services and those mentoring services to our area because of the incredibly slow broadband. So those are things that I look forward to working with the government on, and creating effective jobs for regional areas in the future. And the Greens support the amendments of the member for Sydney, and we support the bill.
Madam Assistant Speaker.
Call the member for Oxley.